Hey guys, welcome back to the Pulling Curls podcast. Today on episode 88, we follow an evil villain. At every turn, we feel like we buy things that are important and yet somehow they turn into this villain. Today we're talking about clutter. Let's untangle it. Welcome to the Pulling Curls podcast. I'm Hillary, your curly-headed host on the podcast where we untangle everything from pregnancy, parenting, and home routines. I want you to know that there are no right answers for every family, and I find that simplifying my priorities is almost always the answer. It's tangled, just like my hair. Hey guys, before we get started, if you could just subscribe, it lets you know about every darn episode. Isn't that awesome? We have episodes that range in a wide variety of things. You might not be interested in every single thing, but at least you'll see them. So definitely subscribe in your favorite podcast player. Okay, so if clutter is your arch nemesis, decluttering has to be the hero, right? And when systems don't work, which by the way, in the organized home, I have a whole chapter section on what to do if your system isn't working, because I am the first to say that every system I make is not a genius system and I do have to adjust, but almost I'd say 88.899% of the time, it is too much stuff in the area, right? And the reality is that decluttering is just a nice way of saying it's time to get rid of some stuff. And there's varying levels of that. Sometimes if you've created a zone in an area, maybe that zone just has too much stuff in it and you need to either move some of it to another area or move part of that zone to another area or something like that. So I think decluttering is kind of the buzzword, but the reality is it's just, let's get rid of this. And that, that can mean the garbage. It can mean goodwill. It can mean giving it to a friend or something like that. Do you ever just feel like it's unfair that some people can have company over at a moment's notice? Their house is just super easy to clean up and they can relax on the couch with Netflix while you feel like you always have things to do around your house. That can totally be you. The organized home is all new in 2021. We're talking about decluttering, zones, organization systems that actually work. We've got assignments and challenges. I hope you'll join us. You can use coupon code UNTANGLED. Look for the organized home link in the show notes. Now, I'm not here to say that decluttering is not hard, because I think I can be like, well, that's why your system isn't working. You just need to declutter. And sure, that sounds super easy, but I understand that it's not super easy. Decluttering involves decision fatigue because you're having to constantly make choices of if you should keep or throw something away. And I understand that. I feel that very, very much when I'm going through a system that's not working. You are confronting poor choices that you have made. We buy things planning to use them. I don't think very many people go to the store and they're like, I'm just going to buy this to stick in this area to really mess up my system. Nobody's doing that. They go into it with a good intention of like how they're going to use this item that they purchased. And then slowly we realize that that was a poor choice. And so that can be hard. It ruins my self-esteem a lot of times when I'm decluttering. It is actual work to declutter a lot of the time, because a lot of times you've got big bins that you're having to haul places, and it's like a physical activity also. And so that can be really tiring also. And I have to say that a lot of my decluttering, there is a worry in the back of my brain that I am making a mistake. I'm throwing away something that I'm going to need eventually, and it's going to ruin my family's life, and I will have made a poor choice. I don't know if anybody else has that, but I do have that in the back of my head, just kind of nagging at me. But I have to tell you that having less stuff feels better. And I think we are trained to feel like having more stuff does feel better. I am the first to agree. If you've been in the organized home, I have a big pantry with a lot of food. I feel safer when I have more food around, but I also find that I feel less overwhelmed when I have enough food that fits okay in my pantry and I'm not constantly having to move things, or nothing is worse than having a jar of Alfredo fall down onto the tile floor while you're trying to get marinara sauce because you just had too much on that shelf. So having less stuff actually does feel better, but somehow having more stuff seems to be my own personal safety blanket. I think, well, I might need these twinkle lights someday, even though I have never used them since I purchased them. And I think, that's a mistake I make. And it always reminds me to reconsider before I actually purchase something. Am I going to use this? Do I have a way to use this right now? Am I just buying it because it's on sale? Hello, I have been that victim many, many times. But am I going to use this? How am I going to use this? Do I have a way to use it right now? I think that's really important to go through in your mind. And honestly, the more I declutter, the better I am at making better purchases when I buy. And that's awesome too, because I'm saving money and then you get less stress and saving money. That's almost perfection to me. So one thing I've seen that you can do, there's a few methods you can use to declutter. One of them is to just take a box, one of the boxes you got from Amazon, and just fill it up with stuff that you don't need anymore. If it's too overwhelming to just pull everything out and declutter a certain area, a lot of people really enjoy these like 20 pickups. So they'll decide, today I'm going to pick up 10 things and I'm going to get rid of them. And tomorrow I'll pick up 11 things and get rid of them or something like that. And so you can pick a number and just declutter that way. You could also use a bag instead of a box. Like reusable grocery bags can be really good for this. And one of the most important things that I remind myself frequently is that I have this one area and I can keep what fits in that area. And so learning to prioritize what's most important to me for that area, it somehow seems easier than that method of like pick 10 things to get rid of. Although in your closet, you can a lot of times go in and be like, well, I haven't worn this shirt in 6 years. I probably get rid of it. Closets are a little bit easier to do that way. So just being really clear about the boundaries that you have for those types of items and only keeping what fits can be such a huge perk when you're trying to use that area because you're not having to look through a lot of different things or sort through different things in order to get out the thing you want. So decluttering is your friend, even though it's painful and it seems like it's not the hero, it really is. It will save your systems when they just don't seem to work. Thanks so much for joining us today. I hope we helped smooth out a few of the snarls in your life. We drop an episode every Monday, and we always appreciate it when you guys share and review. Until next time, we hope you have a tangle-free day.